everyone. Thanks for joining another edition of Travel Café. My name is Susan Walker. I am the owner of Expedia Cruises here in Red Deer. We have been open, in case you didn't know, for 15 years starting in October. So we are going to have quite the celebration, especially after surviving these last couple of years. So we're super, super excited. Travel is coming back. We are just seeing new bookings every day and new countries opening up and less restrictions. And of course, cruising has always been big, and they have been, is one of the safest forms of travel that you can do. And they have really the cruise lines have stepped up to the plate and have done an amazing job of keeping all of our clients super, super healthy during and after their cruise. I can't be more thrilled to have my very first guest on my Travel Cafe. And it's funny that it should be Colin from Royal Caribbean. And the reason why it is he was our last presenter for our last in-house event we had. Colin, that was 2 years ago. It was like 3 days, and I know we were telling to our clients, we don't have to worry, this isn't going to last long, let's just ride it out, we'll be through it before we know. And wow, here we are 2 years later. We're meeting virtually, which is not the same as having you right here in our house with all of our clients, but at least we get to do this. So welcome, Colin. It's so great to have you join me as my first guest.
Well, thank you so much. I love the mug. I love your shirt, by the
Right,
way. Love
right,
it.
right.
It's so, I'd love to see it in person, but video works for now. And yeah, it was 2 years ago. I can't believe time has absolutely flown.
Right.
I'm very excited to be coming back out to the Alberta area soon enough, and look forward to seeing the team again
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, for sure. And the team has definitely missed you, and they all say hi and everything else like that. And yeah, so Royal Caribbean, I mean, what can we say about your product? I mean, it's a product that is just really, really good for everybody, that multi-generational family, right? Something for grandma and
Hmm.
grandpa to go to, and something for the parents and the kids.
Yeah.
And you guys have just really, really are catered to everybody.
Yeah, it's true. I thought I'd take us on a little bit of a tour, and we can talk about a few of the other things like the health and safety, which is always the elephant in the room, and
Mhm.
what makes our award-winning ship so special. I think just you can looking at the aft of the ship here, you can kind of see there's so much to do, and how different it looks to a traditional cruise ship. And then, of course, all the remarkable destinations and a few of our islands. So I've got a jam-packed full of details for us, but obviously the big one out there is health and safety. And for us, that is our and always has been our number one priority. We've always been investing into smart technology and what we can do and listening to our guest feedback. And we always have always, whatever mainland North America is doing, we are always trying to exceed those expectations. So for 20 plus years, we've had guests having to Purell their hands as they come onto the ship, or Purell your hands as you go into a dining room. That was nothing new. So we were already reinvesting into our ships with like wash your hand stations as you enter into the buffet areas, because guests were saying they didn't like the Purell stations, and we were listening to that feedback. Simple things like touching a button in an elevator. So we've actually been investing in the elevator so that as your finger is like close to the button, it will light up. So you don't even have to touch the button. So there's amazing technology that's being reinvested back into the company. One of the big ones is called Muster 2.0. So for your guests that have never, or your guests that have cruised before, they are going to love this. The
Mhm.
guests that have never cruised before, you're just being really treated because this is the way of the future. It's
Right.
that first day traditionally, that lifeboat drill, you'd have to stand and line up to go outside to do your lifeboat. No, everybody,
That's
every cruise ship, you
horrendous.
got to do. It's the worst, but you got to do it so you know what to do in case of an emergency. Well, now 2 days prior to your cruise, you can open up the app on your phone or your tablet, and you can do your boat drill on your actual smartphone device. So now when you get onto the ship, anytime between getting on until 4 o'clock, you just need to go past the actual station to get checked off. So you don't have to line up there with everybody else to get your name checked off. Just sometime between now and 4 o'clock, that first day of the cruise, you got to get scanned so you know where to go in case of an emergency. It makes the process so simple, so easy. So there's been a lot of good changes that have kind of come from this as well. And it's crazy to think we are 50 years bold now, and we've seen, I love that. Don't call us old, we're 50 years bold. And there's been a lot of change over the years of the different quality of ships and different sizes of ships. But one thing that remains constant throughout our brand is we really are quality meets energy. And I think you nailed it when you said at the beginning about the multi-gen, and we are really changing from the bucket list cruising items to the to-do list items. It's been 2 years we've all missed out on. We want to do it. Spending that time with family more than ever is so important. So I thought I'd showcase a couple of our ships, the Quantum class and the Oasis class. They're two of our newest classes and two of our newest ships with inside of those classes. So starting off with the Quantum class, these ships were designed as cold weather ships. So they're fabulous for seeing, like, for example, like Alaska offhand. Or like going cruising out of like New York in like the off season. But what makes them so special is that because they're built as cold weather ships, like the traditional basketball courts that are outdoor, we've moved them indoor. So that way now we can look at how to utilize that space, from like bumper cars in there to roller skating rinks to you name it. There's a really neat kind of sports bar up above called Playmakers. So it's really, really neat. There's obviously tons of fabulous restaurants. This one that just popped up on the screen is called Wonderland. I think actually all cruise lines do a fabulous job of the different steakhouses on board and the Italian cuisine and the teppanyaki. But there's a few really unique restaurants out there that really shine. And for myself, Wonderland is it. It's a smaller venue, really just that Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter. It's kind of like you're eating in somebody else's dream. It's a lot of fun. And then, of course, I mentioned about like the classic Italians. We have the Jamie Oliver's restaurant on some and Giovanni's Kitchen on others. And then some lounges like this one. This costs more than the first two Royal Caribbean ships combined. And we use this smart technology. We use these 8K projectors against that glass. We can animate it to being its own new theater at night. So in the day, it's a nice place to sit and relax, and at night, it becomes a show. So there's so much. That was a quick glimpse out of just a real quick glimpse of that, a little teaser.
Such a teaser.
And then our Oasis class, these are the largest ships in the world. The Oasis, the original, our sister ship, the Allure. We did take a break for a bit, and that's when the Quantum class came out. And then we came out with Harmony and Symphony that have a few touches of Quantum class, and the newest are Wonder. So most of these ships, all of them except for the Wonder, have 7 neighborhoods on there. And I'll show you what this little neighborhood concept is, because what you might be in the mood for on your vacations is very different than what maybe I'm looking for in the vacation. So it's a matter of finding what's right for you. And so up at the front of the ship, this is where our adult solarium area is. Great place, it's nice and relaxed in the day. Then we have like our entertainment zone, where our activity zone with all the multiple pools around. So opposed to a giant, huge pool, we've got multiple smaller pools. I love this picture where she can see like a couple pools on each side. The little red dot's hard to see, but those are all the lifeguards. There's multiple lifeguards located on the ship. Kids that have their own area in the Splashaway Bay area. There's mini golf, zip lining, rock climbing. Like, name the activity, we have it on board. I don't know if you saw it on the Quantum class, but there was also skydiving on board there.
Yes,
so
I've done the skydiving and I did the zip lining. I did zip lining much better than the skydiving. That was very good, but it was fun to be able to try it.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And actually, one of my other favorite areas on the ship, this is called Central Park. There's over 14,000 trees and plants. Great place to sit and have a drink where you're still outside, but you don't have the wind blowing at you. And then actually directly below it, it's actually hard to see. I'll kind of go back a little bit, but that little glass kind of image that you see there, that actually goes into a little bar that slowly lowers down into the Royal Promenade area. So the Royal Promenade, right? Isn't it so cool?
I might have been on it once or twice, Colin, just once or twice.
I love it just because your venue changes. So all of a sudden you're going past the piano bar, and then all of a sudden you're up into the Central Park. It's just great. Obviously, there's different pizzerias and Latin nightclub and karaoke bars. And so all of this kind of comes together in that promenade area, which is really quite cool. Of course, this is quite a lot of areas we've kind of shown for a bit of the multi-gen, but then for the entertainment kind of side of it, you've got the world's largest ship with an ice rink on board. Actually, our Voyager class, Freedom class, and Oasis class all have ice rinks on board with the world's smallest Zamboni, which I always laugh at. It's hilarious. But the shows in there are fabulous. We actually have on the ice skating show, one of the U.S. performers was just in the Olympics. So we actually have a lot of Olympians that are actually on board. Actually, I think he started on Oasis class originally and then went to the Olympics. And then when it comes to that entertainment, of course, we have the award-winning shows like Cats, Mamma Mia. So entertainment is really next level. And of course, the kids have to have their zones. We break down the kids into all different age groups. They've got their areas, and it's not like we're just throwing them in front of like an Xbox. They're actually doing like cooking classes and science classes and learning, and all of our youth staff have a 2-year university degree. So again, we're not just hiring Joe Smith off the side of the road to come look after your kids for the day. Now, I did do a little teaser saying the Wonder of the Sea has an 8th neighborhood, and this is brand new, a whole new sweet neighborhood. And you've got this amazing like plunge pool. This picture doesn't do it justice. It's about 4 times larger than what this looks. I'll give you actually a couple more teasers of the Wonder. This is what that pool deck area looks like. It's got the largest cinema at sea on board there as well. A new little kind of like southern kind of charm mason jar restaurant with like this. There is a couple of our staff, their job was to go find the best fried chicken sandwich throughout the U.S. and then to recreate and make our best sandwich. So we're putting a challenge out there that this is the ultimate chicken sandwich. It's a bold statement, I know, and I want to know how to get that job in the future of testing chicken sandwiches. That sounds amazing.
Right.
And then towards the after the ship week is kind of that boardwalk area where we kind of head off and we can go into like the aqua theater. And that's where we've got those Olympic divers diving down into that tiny little plunge pool there. It is such an amazing show to see. So between the real Broadway shows happening at the front of the ship, you've got your ice skating shows in the middle. You've got this, you've got from tucked around the corner, we've got little jazz cafes. It's just endless entertainment on board. One of my favorite areas, though, this is actually the 2-bedroom aqua suite. Just a great, this is a great suite that has one of the best stunning views. Just to kind of show you, it has a nice little wraparound ocean view balcony. The patio, the veranda is massive. It's full butler service. We call it our Royal Genie on board. So our Royal Genies will take care of. So even so, we're still investing. We've got about 5 new ships coming out, each at $1 billion. We're still reinvesting into some of our older ships. These are a couple of our key older ships. One of our most popular for us on the, I say West Coast, I'm in Vancouver, you're just down the road, obviously in Red Deer. But the Navigator is based out of LA, so very simple. The Navigator departs on Fridays, does three-day cruises, so easy to do a Friday getaway. Obviously, WestJet or Canada both doing flights down, easy to fly in, home on a Monday. You could do 4-day cruise, 7-day cruise. We've got all different options, but these ships each have had about a $250 million renovation to them, and they look absolutely stunning. Now, we, of course, I just mentioned LA, but we do cruise all around the world. The Mediterranean is huge for us. We have a lot of key ships. So the Odyssey is cruising. That's one of the newest of the Quantum class, and the Wonder of the Sea is the newest of the Oasis class. Both will be doing Mediterranean cruises. Just to kind of highlight a few, we actually have a lot of different home ports. So you can start your cruise in any of these home ports, and quite often we actually have a lot of ships that will do an open jaw cruise where you're starting in one port and ending in another, which is very, very popular. Now, as we were kind of talking about the Quantum class, I just thought I'd highlight one particular itinerary. This is the Greek Isles cruise. This is one of the most popular cruises. So to be able to do that on the brand new Odyssey, it's a fabulous way to do it. Another cruise kind of at the end of the season. Actually, I went a little dyslexic. It's actually October 13th, not October 31st, and it's actually a 13-night cruise. There are different variations of this, but that have some that have overnights in Athens. The October 13th one has an overnight in Jerusalem. So a really neat cruise for the Holy Lands cruise. That was October 13th. That was my mistake on those dates. I know it says 31st. So it's October 13th on that particular one. Another really popular one I saw, the Anthem of the Seas round trip out of Southampton. And this is just going down and doing France and Spain. So if you want to go and visit like the Guggenheim Museum and you're looking for just a simple getaway, maybe you want to do 3 days in London ahead of time. And I know your team can obviously arrange the pre-hotels and transfers and all that and everything. But I was looking up, and I know that you obviously price in both Canadian dollars and US. I just noticed that what you've done, and I'll tell your viewers on this, is that when you're actually looking on like the Royal Caribbean website, you would see the prices for this 7-day cruise starting at about $1,000 for an inside, about $1,500 for an ocean view, and only a couple bucks more for a balcony. Even if it was a few $100s more, I still see the value in a balcony.
Oh, for sure.
But of course, you and your team do a fabulous job of locking down space years in advance. So for your viewers that don't know, as we get closer to the cruise date, we at Royal Caribbean, our prices will get higher and higher and higher. However, when you are booking through Expedia Cruise Ship Centers and you are booking and supporting a local business, also what's on top of it for you is the savings. So these are exact room for room and the price savings that you have when booking with Expedia. So that balcony, for example, is almost 50% less essentially. And there are a whole bunch of amazing perks. Now, this one was priced in US, but you do have a lot of like hundreds of fares, obviously in Canadian. Fabulous savings, of course, when you're supporting a local business, working with an expert, and saving you money at the same time. Now,
can't get much better than that, can you?
No. Now, this, what I've noticed from booking in Western Canada, this has probably been one of the most popular itineraries. You can book this as an individual 12-night cruise, or as a back-to-back, or as a triple back-to-back. So you can make this up to a 36-night cruise. The only port you'd be doubling up on really is Amsterdam, because that's the home port, but such a great port just to get off and walk around for the day. But wow, everything from doing the Norwegian fjords to Iceland, the British Isles, stunning cruise. So there's a couple different dates that this does it, but really the back-to-back. And if we were talking about this earlier, if you have guests that love that back-to-back, what a better way to do it than the ultimate world cruise. This is just a short little 274-day cruise, 7 continents, 60 countries, 150 destinations, 11 wonders of the world to see on this voyage. We have now broken it down to segments, so you can still book it as one big segment, or you can book it as any of these particular 4. And you can book any of these as a back-to-back-to-back, whichever one. So you could pair this nice 64-day cruise with an 87-day cruise. And again, so we are moving away from that bucket list cruise to do it now. Now is the time to start looking at these voyages and to get to see all these amazing wonders of the world. It includes everything from your drink packages, your gratuities, your internet. But I think the most valuable one is not having to do laundry for an entire year.
Right?
Like, I think that sounds amazing. And then
it does.
For our Crown and Anchor Society members, a little extra bonus as well. The shore excursions, that's worth up to about $7,500 in value as well. So now, if you want to get to know the Serenade before and you want to do a little tester before your world cruise, we have a nice little 5-day from Vancouver up to LA in April 26th. And talking about close to home, we've got the Vancouver to Hawaii cruises. We've got a few different ships doing that. I just kind of highlighted another one that's doing this. So at this point, too, a little bit that closer to home, we've got Alaska happening as well. So we've got 4 different ships to Alaska. We've got 2 of the Quantum class based out of Seattle, and then 2 of the Radiance class. One does the northbound, southbound, which is, I think, one of the greatest ways to truly see Alaska. You get up Denali, the national parks, or maybe you've got guests that just want the convenience of getting on in Vancouver and getting off in Vancouver. Maybe they're driving from Red Deer across, but then they want to just do the round trip Vancouver. Absolutely, we can do it. But I do think the northbound, southbound is a fabulous way to do it. So it's just a matter of finding what works for them. And now, one other itinerary I saw that I just had to kind of highlight. Obviously, there's hundreds of itineraries, but the Oasis of the Seas, this is a New Year's cruise. It's cruising out of Miami. And what's so special about that is we've actually invested into the port. It's $1 billion spend into the home port as well. It really makes the boarding time that much quicker. The average time from taxi to stateroom is 15 minutes.
Isn't that crazy? 15
minutes. it doesn't seem real. Like and every person's going to go on there with a stopwatch timing it, and
Are they?
and you're like, how has this been? It's probably 14 minutes, truthfully.
I know, right? But
Yeah,
by the time you arrive to the port and by the time you have a drink in your hand, because we'll give the waiters 1 minute to get your drink,
yeah,
60 minutes you can have a Mai
it's
Tai
quick.
or a
It's
tequila or
fabulous.
whatever you want to have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I highlighted this itinerary just because it's really unique where it does go to actually into Labadee. So Labadee was our first original one of our private islands. And what made it so special is the fact that we actually have a real dock. So be able to walk off the ship and be there. It was the original island of like the original thrill with the quad zip line and then basically the roller coaster through the jungle or the chill side of it as well. Well, we've taken that kind of concept and we've kind of enhanced it. And I'm going to come back to that a little more in just a second. We hitting into old San Juan, great place for walking around. Hit the Bacardi Rum Factory, lots to see and do. St. Thomas, great for diving, great for shopping. My favorite thing actually to do when I get to St. Thomas is to leave St. Thomas. Again, on the little ferry, and I like to go to St. John's, another little island. And there's Trunk Bay, which I think is one of the most stunning beaches in the world. That was a picture of it. But where I'm going to go into is Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Perfect Day at Coco Cay. We spent a $250 million facelift on this, bringing it to that next level, investing into a dock, adding the tallest water slide in all of North America. And we took that concept of thrill and chill to a whole new level. So depending what your guest is looking for, from the largest freshwater pool in all of the Caribbean, we have that here. If you want to take your cruise, your island experience to the next level, you can do that at Coco Beach Club. From overwater bungalows, you've got private cabanas tucked away in the tree line. Includes like steak, grouper, lobster. The service is phenomenal. I stayed in one of these in November. It was so neat. The servers ride bikes that come down to bring you your food that much quicker. It was so awesome. Tucked away in the corner over there is a swim out bar, not a swim up bar. So that's your swim out bar. And then all those other activities from zip lining, up, and away, a hot air balloon that takes you up into the air, 13 different water slides. For myself, I have a 3-year-old, so this is my idea of a perfect day. Is going down to Captain Jill's galleon with the shooting water cannons and the pirate ship and all those activities. And then, of course, there's multiple different restaurants located all around the island. So that's a New Year's cruise I don't think you want to miss out on, just to showcase a couple of those little price points as well of just the savings. It's almost close to $400 or $500 savings on the inside, a couple $100, of course, on the balconies. And then I just wanted to showcase there is an Expedia exclusive that you have going on right now.
We do.
Right now is really, truly the best time to book. It's 30% off for all guests. We have a bonus kicker of an extra $150 instant savings. If any of your guests are holding on to a future cruise credit and they want to use it, there's an extra edition credit as well. Crown Anchor Society members, they're also getting a bonus. And then exclusive, this has been a little sneak peek that your guests are getting right now. And my computer is telling me, no, oh, here it comes, is our Royal Adventure Sale. So this is starting off on the 7th to the 17th. Any of your guests that are in up to a 5-night cruise are going to receive a complimentary specialty dining. So you can book a restaurant like Wonderland or Jamie's, and you get an extra $75 onboard credit. But if they go to a 6-night cruise or longer, which I think most people would probably look at doing, then you're getting that specialty dining, the onboard credit, and an extra spa treatment for a guest as well. And one extra little
with us.
That is true. Yeah. So this is huge. This is probably one of the richest offers I've seen in years. And then if you've got any guests that are that can't find one of your price advantages that you have out there, then we also have this little extra bonus onboard credit as well, from $25 up to $100. So even if you can't get one of these amazing savings deals, there's still an extra bonus for you on top. So that was a whole lot that I went through. Know that we've got our Cruise with Confidence. If you feel like something's come up, you're like, oh my gosh, I have a hair appointment that day, I can't go on this cruise, you can cancel up to 48 hours prior, get 100% future cruise credit. So we talked a lot about just a real touch on our health and safety, award-winning ships, destinations, private islands. And one thing that we're so proud of, Susan, is actually all of the awards that we've recently won. Winning Best Cruise Line overall for 19 consecutive years. We're obviously doing something right. The Symphony of the Seas. There's a lot of amazing cruise lines and cruise ships out there, but to win best ship overall for Symphony of the Seas, best new ship, I should say, that is a huge achievement. Of course, entertainment, we've been winning that. Yeah, you've got that shirt on. Is that Symphony?
I got the shirt. That means I was there.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. Well, that's amazing, Colin. You've taken a 1 hour presentation and somehow put it in to little under, just close to 20 minutes. So yeah, Royal Caribbean's, just as I had mentioned earlier, multi-generational. I love the adult only place. I don't have little kids. I don't have grandkids, but I love your ships because I love to zip line. I love to be active, but I also just love to get away from it all. And that's what I love about it. I always tell this story when my brother and sister-in-law and their kids went on the ship and we were on the ship. We actually met up at the surprise for people that know me, the Irish pub. And within a day, the waiter knew myself and my husband and my brother. And so that was kind of our meeting point. And so he was like our little own private messenger. I'd say, oh, can you let Lyle know that I'll be back in an hour? And it was really great. So, and it was a full ship. So you just really feel the staff is just superb. But I totally
know this feeling. I was on with a group of 40 and the rising tide bar became our go-to spot. And the last day of the cruise, I thought I better go pack my bags and kind of get ready. That's the sad moment of the cruise. All of a sudden my phone rings in the room and it's Juan from the bar. And he's like, we're getting ready to leave. We can't leave without you. I'm like, well, I can just catch you at the next floor. They're like, everybody's here. We're ready. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So the fact that they phoned me and the bartender phoned me from the room to let me know the bar is heading off to the next spot, but they get to know you so well. And
yeah, it's just an amazing product. And I mean, this conversation was so timely, as you really nicely mentioned about our Royal Caribbean, March 7th to 17th, exclusive. So you're not going to get those extra deals by definitely booking with Royal Caribbean directly. They want you to deal with us, deal with the experts. We can figure out all the logistics for you. So thank you, Colin. I couldn't have been more happier to have you as my first guest. We'll look for hopefully the next time have you in live. If not, then this virtual thing kind of works. So we will maybe look at that. So thank you, everyone. My name is Susan Walker, owner of Expedia Cruises here in Red Deer. We are so thankful that you have tuned in, and hope you enjoyed this first presentation. Stay tuned. There's going to be a slight change next week. I will not be here at 10:30 on Thursday. We have a new time, 1 week only, 10:30 on Friday. And you need to tune in. I'm going to have a very special guest, and I'm not going to have this kind of a background. So if you want to see where in the heck Susan Walker from Expedia Cruises is traveling to, then please make sure you tune in next Friday at 10:30, or check our Facebook page. And our YouTube, as you can always catch the past episodes. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Really super appreciated it. Stay safe. We're just about through this. With spring is just around the corner. So so we are here. Give us a call at 403-341-0177, or drop in. Coffee is always on, and we do have treats in the office. So until next time, thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.